You are about to discover the mysteries and truth of nature in its evolution and existence through the Vethathiri model of universe and beyond, a fusion of revelatory philosophy and scientific insight. According to this model, the absolute space is self-compressive, surrounding pressure. Although this space is imperceptible, it is almighty, singular, and everlasting, with unique properties: kinematic quivering, all-penetrative, thoroughly permeable, and highly transparent. By the self-compressive force, the space becomes quantized into what is called formative dust. In the Eastern philosophy, this dust is called Paramanu. The surrounding self-compressive force gives the dust a spinning motion. As innumerable formative dust are forced together into a group by the self-compression, they form the infinitesimal fundamental energy particle. In Sanskrit, these particles are referred to as Anu. By the spinning of its constituent, the dust, and the surrounding self-compressive force, this fundamental particle is made to spin constantly. By the constantly exerted surrounding pressure of the space, the spinning speed of dust in a fundamental particle increases, and thereby the dust gets more and more magnetized. Some dust in the particle becomes so highly magnetized that they are having more repulsion and are constantly thrown out from the particle as a repulsive force. The constant emission of these magnetized dust results in the gradual dissolution of the energy particle over time. These ejected dust are the repulsive magnetic waves which form the all-powerful link between everything, everywhere. So, the key point of the Vethathiri model of universe and beyond is: the whole universe is nothing but repulsive force and its fluctuations. In the space, many such energy particles are being constantly produced. Due to the surrounding self-compressive force, these energy particles are forced to come near each other. But due to their generated repulsive force, they repel each other. This means that no two particles can ever come close enough to touch each other. But how do particles associate to form elements? Over a period of time, the speed of an energy particle gets reduced because of the constant compressive force of the space, and it comes nearer to another energy particle. At some point, the faster moving particle starts orbiting the slower moving particle. This is the first formation of an element, hydrogen. The physical structure of an atom is formed by electrons orbiting the nucleus. Depending on the number of particles in the structure, the different elements are formed. These elements, in turn, combine to become compounds. In Eastern philosophy, these compounds are classified into 5 elements: solid, liquid, heavy air, and energy field or Akash. All the elements combine, decay, and recombine, and this comprises our universe, sprinkled with countless galaxies. Our own home galaxy, the Milky Way, is one of them. The Milky Way galaxy consists of billions of stars. One of its stars is our Sun, which has the 9 planets orbiting and forming the solar system. Earth is one of the planets in our solar system. Everything we observe on Earth is varying combinations of the elements. When it happens that these elements are in an appropriate proportion, a circulation of free particles generating an electromagnetic field may begin within a small area. This is the origin of the most basic life form. Of course, life begins with the simplest of forms and has taken millions of years to evolve and mutate into the forms we see around us today. In fact, life may arise anywhere in the universe given such appropriate conditions. Now, let us return for a moment to study the energy particles, the elements and their waves some more. Within every element, the waves emanating from the energy particles come into friction with the powerful surrounding compression of the space and are thus annihilated as they are transformed into perceptible phenomena. In the pure energy field or Akash, the emitted magnetic waves are perceived as pressure. In the more intensified field of air, the magnetic waves get transformed and perceived as sound. In the denser field of heavy air, the magnetism undergoes transformation and perception as light and heat. In the liquid elements, the transformation of magnetic waves are perceived as taste. And finally, in the solid elements, it becomes smell. In Eastern philosophy, each of the 5 elements is associated with our perceived transformation of its magnetic wave. These 5 transformations of magnetism are called the Panch Tanmatras in Sanskrit. Now, back to our study of living beings. In the beginning, life began with only one sense and evolved as varieties of grass. Here, the 5 elements, with a unifying, perpetuated magnetic circuit, have become a living being with one sense, touch, that is, perception of pressure. The next step in the transformation process is the emergence of the creatures with 2 senses, touch and taste. Then emerged the insects and other creatures with the additional sense of smell, the 3rd sense. The reptiles have 4 senses, touch, taste, smell and sight, but no faculty of hearing. The animals that have the sense of hearing along with the other senses are called 5-sensed. Beyond the 5 senses emerged the human beings, endowed with the 6th sense, mind, to understand phenomena and concepts transcending the other 5 senses, and ultimately to understand the ultimate truth, the subtle laws of nature, life, mind, and the almighty absolute space.